Yes. Mm. Yes. Boom, 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 boom. I wish I could bebop. I would bebop for y'all. Peace, peace, peace. What's up, family? Power, power, power. Junkyard Jedi 7-7. Anybody on here who got YouTubes, go check them out. You know, that's what we do. There's no purpose in building a tribe and we don't share. Sharing is caring, right? Peace and power to you, Catherine. How are you? Jerry. Peace and power, Jerry. Yes, this solar eclipse is way and it is epic energy. Cities in ya Lazas cities. Huh. Why cities? Hmm? You got supernatural abilities? Have you activated your meridians? Power to you. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. Cities. I still want to know about that. What's going on with that name? So peace and power, everybody. I'm Khamsin the Oracle, if you do not know. And I really do feel like this eclipse is like really finna shake up some shit. So I was like, let me jump on here before I get the kids ready for bed and just tap into this energy and channel what comes out. You know what that is. I'm an oracle. Like, it's not much that I don't know pertaining to any life I have had on this planet and beyond. Fitness alchemist, what it do, Aaron? I already been telling everybody, yo, go support Aaron. He on his Samson shit. Like, he's created his body, he's worked on it. Let's do some tribal shit and let's support one another in these journeys, right? Yes, epic. So we already been voting, Aaron. I told you what was gonna happen. I told you. You are so worthy of getting credit for what you have accomplished. It doesn't matter if it's with your physical body, your mental body, your heart, your chakras, it don't matter. People, people, a lot of times they feel so inferior that they're afraid to assist other people. So as soon as I saw it, me and Ernest was on it. Like, you already know what it fitness alchemist. Now how I'm gonna send you money and boost you up and here you go. That's what I'm talking about. Sacred energy exchange. This is real sex. When the energy exchange is sacred, like, that's everything. Thank you for that donation. I don't even be asking for donations. Yo, look, y'all donations help us to continue doing what we're doing because for 15 years I've been doing most of this for free. So thank you for your donations, Aaron. That means so much to me. Like, literally, just keep watching it stream in. You're number 4 right now. I'm already watching, but I've already preconceived this, right? This is your thing. Use everything that you're learning in New You Mystery School and you continue to level up. I've been telling people, like, New You Mystery School will help you to master yourself and to be able to step out into the world and accomplish things that maybe you thought you couldn't do or were afraid to do or thought you would fail. So Aaron is a perfect example, y'all. Matter of fact, follow him on IG as well. Aaron, if you could drop your IG in the chat so that they can follow you. Fantastic. You know, we got it facts. 1111. See? That's what I'm talking about. Ashe. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude for the algorithms, right? Of numerology and that power, those master builder numbers. Like, yeah, that's what's up. So, I'll go ahead and get started. 17 people in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you don't know who I am, I'm Khamsin Oracle. I'll say it again. Here we go. 10 and 10 and 10. See what I'm talking about, Aaron? See what I'm talking about? Power. That is power. So it's something I wanted to share real quick. What, y'all doing it like that? Y'all finna make it rain on your girl tonight? I've been working so hard and I feel like I'm worthy of every bit of it. Thank you. May it return to you in whatever it is that you are needing for your journey. Ashe. I appreciate it. The donations y'all help us. So, I keep it super transparent over here, and sometimes I feel like it's too transparent. But it is what it is. I'm an open book. So, me and my daughter have been having some health issues, and so a lot of our money and savings has been going to that. And so, but I wanted to shut the business down at one point, and I was just like, because the expenses are, pretty up there when you're having a website that has as much information as ours does, and we have programs, we have courses. We created a sacred space on the Spaces app where people can pull away from the algorithms of the AI that is being engineered to create a psychosis, to create imbalances within the mind. And we worked so hard, and Ernest, he did that. Like, that was him, that was all him. He did that, and so it's a space where you can come and there's no judgment. So, like, we got free programs, free courses, webinars, lectures. It's a spiritual emporium, information. I am astounded by what it has grew to be. And I refuse to close down our business, because I know that this is the year that so many of us are gonna finally get the reward from the hard work we've been doing. And I know it gets hard, and I know sometimes it feels like nothing you do is enough, but I'm telling you, if you exchange your energy in ways that's sacred, and for people who have actually added value to you, even if it's just for one moment, you feel a little less weird, you feel a little less crazy, like you use your money as an extension of you to create the reality that you desire. And I really do feel like that's one of the things that's been holding a lot of us back, because we support corporations, maybe that are putting, this is a movie, right? This didn't really happen, but this was a movie that I watched. It was pretty epic, an epic movie about a holographic simulation of the reality. And it's similar to The Matrix. But yeah, so in this Matrix movie, there are corporations who have been, in this movie, there were corporations who were getting paid for some terrible things that was being done to children. It was really, really terrible to see that in that movie. Unfortunately, though, a lot of us have supported those corporations. Well, in the movie, it was a lot of people that were supporting that with their money by buying their products and their services and stuff. And you just never know what people are really doing. So when people are when people are exposing themselves to criticism by sharing authentic thoughts that are typically truths that make people uncomfortable, right? Because it's red pill energy. Like, when that happens, and when you feel the resonance but you do nothing with it, you miss out on an opportunity. So this is not just about y'all and donations for us to do these things for the business and stuff. It's so much bigger than that. So I just really need y'all to focus on making your money work for you and not working for money. And when you start to reprogram your relationship with money, what happens is you get abundance in other areas of your life. And so everybody has an area of their life where they feel like they're lacking. That's just a part of coming to this planet. And so you can do a lot of magic by the mental alchemy around what you do with your money, and it don't have to be a lot. Some days I drive through the city and give money out to the homeless people, food and snacks and stuff, and I'll take it with me. And that's my intention for that day, to do that. And I really love doing that, because I feel like it. First of all, people are super judgmental, so a lot of times people don't help certain people because they feel like they're gonna buy drugs or alcohol. But I'm like, ain't you high on Chick-fil-A? Like, ain't you full of Wendy's and McDonald's? Those are drugs masquerading as foods, and it's strange. And they'll be smoking their cigarettes at the same time, judging me for giving them money. I've had people say, don't do that. She was out here yesterday. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck if she was out here yesterday. I don't give a fuck if she was out here 15 years ago. Like, what does it have to do with anything? Well, they just be getting high and got it. I'm like, that's like, so what are you saying? You're not addicted to anything and never have been? So it's just really, it's a level of healing of the trauma that you do when you get in a space where you don't have judgment. You discern, but you don't have judgment. You don't have condemning thoughts about people or even your own self. And so what happens in this new energy, and this is what I wanted to say, with this energy in this eclipse that's happening, look, y'all, clutch your pearls, hold on to your seat, get ready. This is a motherfucking roller coaster ride. Like, this energy right here came in a week ago. And I was like, yo, this eclipse, this first one of the year, epic, epic, epic. Yes, absolutely. I like you. You gotta come back. You gotta come back and get in the chat. I like you. I love people who have that vibe. Yes, I really am an oracle. Well, thank you. But it's true. It's not always fun. It's not, because I remote view too, and sometimes it happens when I'm not really wanting it to happen. So yes, I wanted to get on here and share something. I just got through crying. I've been crying a lot lately. So with this energy that's coming in, I am just really feeling like it's going to benefit a lot of us to purge when you feel you need to. Don't resist purging. It's a part of the awakening. It's a part of the healing. Do it when you need to, especially my men. My men out there, like, y'all have been hit with so much programming that you should not be in touch with your feelings and your emotions. And that's not true. So with the divine feminine energy that is coming onto the planet, it's very primordial. You know, it's very primordial. You can feel it. We feel the chaos, right? At any moment, a country could make a decision and we're just going to be pushed off into a whole other war. We have the psychological war. We have the water war. Well, I can't say too much about that here. But again, I'm talking about this movie that I've been watching, right? So with these things that are happening, what we're about to see, people literally lose their minds. It's really going to be pretty trippy, because the people who seem weird, strange, and maybe live on the fringe of society, when you look at the philosophies of life and their beliefs, right? Whereas when we were children, we got bullied and picked on, we're black sheep and outcasts, and now it's switching. And so we're going to see that, and we're seeing it more and more, you know. And so it's so much. I'm having to remember this movie and give it to y'all the way I remember this movie that I watched. But I've been watching this movie every day for a while now, and I see the bifurcation very clearly that is happening. So I want to share with you a few ways that I have been finding myself to be able to find some peace within myself, and have been able to use this energy to do alchemy on my own life. And that is what you should be focused on if you want to conjure a better version of you. Releasing the judgment, it causes suffering. We're being forced to pay attention to our flaws. Can you feel that? It's almost if the universe has become one huge black mirror, literally. And when you look at the TV shows and the movies that come out, there is a very clear message that is happening there. So right now, most of the truths that I have been communicating on the channel and channeling to you, it hurts. It hurts. And the amount of death and sickness that we've been seeing, it seems like it's slowing down, but it's not. It's going to increase, okay? So you want to be making sure that you have some sort of routine to manage your mindset, because we have a combination of Wedigo, which is this mind virus, and it get on you so tough, it's almost like you feel like you suffocating, but you can't really pinpoint why you feel so much internal conflict, right? And maybe you have been working really hard and to reprogram your mindsets, but it seemed like you hit this wall, right? And it seems like no matter what you do, these thoughts that you know are no longer benefiting you keep playing on a loop. How is that? Why is that? How is that happening? Why? And what do I do? So we created the New You Mystery School because we've been studying many different mystery systems, and for many years now we have been watching for the common denominator. And I like to weed through the bullshit. I like to get straight to it. And so when I'm reading these books, I'm probably reading 7 to 8 books right now intensely every single day and taking notes. And the information that is coming through is so triggering that a part of me don't want to do it, but another part of me knows that the dark divine feminine energy is what's going to balance out our mental and emotional imbalances, because she works with the subconscious mind. She also works with death, right, and rebirth. And so what happened to us was, not only do we have the Wedigo mind virus that the Native Americans talked about, that and you once you get into it, it's like quicksand. You can't, if you get in it and you're in it for too long, then you start to sink into the sunken place. And I'm not even lie to you, once you sink far enough and you become food for the archons, it gets much harder to pick your vibration up out of that. But the thing that makes it so difficult is the shame, the guilt, and the judgment. And this was programmed inside of us by the wannabe rulers, giving us a system of how we should measure our personal integrity in the form of religion, in the form of laws. And with the galactic new year that happened in 2019, right? And we talked about that here. So once we crossed that galactic new year, according to the Ethiopian and Mayan calendar, 2012 was happening at that time. So when everybody was like, oh, you know, the Mayans said the world was going to end in 2012, and it didn't, it did. It did. And I've talked about this so much here, but as the oracle, these messages were coming through to me. So after both times, after dying, each time that I died and chose to come back here to complete this mission, I could see and feel things I couldn't see and feel before. So what I feel happening right now, we have not been using our spiritual abilities, our supernatural powers to empower ourselves. We have been using it to cast black magic spells over ourself. The self-doubt, the loop inside the mind that you know is harmful. The goal is not to completely silence the monkey mind, because by doing that, you are trying to go to war with something that's older than your present consciousness, that's in your conscious mind. So when we go through an awakening like this, for those of you, and I'm gonna speak on it because I don't do the fuck that. I just speak on whatever the fuck I need to speak on, and it's for who it's for, and the information is liberating and healing, but it is uncomfortable at times. So this is what was told to me by the dark goddesses. I said, you know, it's a lot of death happening. It's probably going to be a lot more. There are a lot of children that have now got caught up in this, and it's almost as if on the astral realm their souls are being held for ransom, and there are these agreements that are being made behind the scenes. And so that's why the babies that are coming here in the last 10 years, especially in the last 5 years, even more, they're changing, and they're coming already with instructions on how to use devices, how to computer code. Like, this shit is like second nature for children, right? So the dark goddesses told me that the reason they were demonized is because they are the rulers of the kingdoms that handle death and rebirth. And when you, because of fear, and you don't deal with the rulers over these kingdoms, where you put yourself in a position to become a sheep, to become the prey. You can't not be the predator, but never get attacked, right? So you have to choose. We've all watched Lion King. We've all watched Black Panther. Just look at how you have to choose who you are, who you want to be, who you're going to be in the movie. You must script your own narrative. And a lot of people have been trying to do it, but you feel something pulling you back. So don't go to war with your mind. That is not the way. Okay, the way is listening to what you feel, right? Tuning in to what you feel, tuning in to your heart. But for so many of us, our right brain and left brain hemispheres have been impacted epigenetically by the trauma we have all experienced on this planet. I uploaded a video earlier today when I channeled this, and I told y'all, trying to do shadow work and delve into your personal subconscious mind to reprogram it. This is my perspective and my hypothesis. But when you're trying to do that, but you have a negative judgment and fear as well, centered around the divine feminine energy, which is dark and chaotic. What happens is you're standing out there on the battlefield and you have no fucking weapons to protect you. And I sat on this for a minute and I was like, so you mean to tell me something that will help us deal with the grief and the pain of what we are seeing happen in this movie, it can be alleviated by working with y'all? And they were like, yeah. And I was just like, so, okay, let me test this out. So I just started asking random people, people close to me, people, you know, I kind of just speak to when I see them. And I just started asking them, like, what do you think about darkness? And everything was negative. It was negative, negative, negative. I'm afraid of darkness. I'm scared of darkness. I'm uncomfortable with darkness. Well, what do you think about goddesses? Oh, well, you know, I grew up Protestant, or I grew up Baptist, or I grew up, and even people who not going to church and stuff like that, that shit is still in you on an epigenetic level generationally. And so you must realize that when we have trauma, and when you stack on top of trauma some type of judgment that your parents or maybe the people you grew up around feel like it's going to come on you, and when you die you're going to go to hell. When you put all of that in the pot, you just got a pot of fear, desperation. I'm never good enough. I'm born in sin. I'm shaped in iniquity. Ain't nothing good about me. This is the reason why I can't ever be successful in my life. So you take on a negative narrative. And what I have found is that most of what's in these so-called monotheistic texts is actually very powerful sorcery. And what is happening right now is we're having to pay the price for our unconsciousness, for living below the veil of consciousness. Now, it is different for everybody. Some people that I listen to every day, and their information that they share is so powerful, I can see and feel the dark goddess current flowing through them. Whether they are conscious of it or not, I don't know. But I know I have begun to see a common denominator in people who are considered to be successful, in people who have finally figured out this mind game, this simulation, this hologram, right? And they're scripting their narrative where it benefits them. Robert Greene is a perfect example. He may not come out and say that he studies the occult. He may not ever say that he studies esoteric information, gnosis. He may not ever say any of that. But when you really read his books and his information, there is a very powerful, dark, feminine current within that information. So the people who are still judging their own darkness, their own trauma, their own shadow aspects, and you feel like it's something that you should hate, that's not going to benefit you. With this eclipse, I feel like it is going to amplify, and we will see explosive things occurring in the world as a result of the unconsciousness, and also as a result of being super judgmental about anything that doesn't fit into the scripted narrative you were given. One of the most powerful things that Lilith told me, and Lilith for me, to me, is synonymous with liberation. liberation from these things our soul been trapped in. And I'm not gonna lie to you, when I was channeling y'all about the other day, oh my goodness, like when I got on the video, that was not the plan, but that's how it went. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's basically saying that this is the only red pill that you need, right now. And so go check that out when I finish here. Etheric Messenger, I'm glad you can catch me live too. What's up, Corey? That's my motherfucking dark goddess sis family. You already know what it is. Too Tall Flame, thank you. We got a moderator up in here. That's what's up. So, does the alchemy include getting a girlfriend? Oh, fitness alchemist, that's going to be nothing. Just practice your discipline. The only discipline you will need will be in how you treat them and how you choose them. Women will always be, that's going to be super simple. Super simple. Absolutely. And it's because of the energy that we're in. Because women are getting more liberated, and women are going for what they want, and women are not allowing themselves to conform to society standards because that's what they were told they should do and be. So this is what Lilith told me. Lilith told me that I said, how did humanity get tricked into all of this? Like, how do we end up having love for these gods who actually seem very psychopathic when you look at the pathology and the characteristics of the things that they do, like, murdering women and children and taking their land and taking their riches, all throughout these ancient texts and these monotheistic religions. It's just war, 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 war. Just a whole lot of war, a whole lot of negative things to say about women. And I'm not trying to disrespect what somebody else believes. That's on you. But I am telling you that religion is the root cause of most of the mental illness and the soul loss on this planet. That movie was about us. What was the name of the movie? Babe, what was the name of that movie? Soul? Yeah. Soul was about us. It was about us finding our way again and figuring out who we are. We're all fractals of source. And so Lilith she asked me, who are you? And I paused and thought about it for a moment. And then she said to me, one of the worst things that has happened on this planet is when we were demonition of creation. We are also those that rule the kingdoms within the subconscious mind. And when you bypass the feminine principle and you attempt to only use logic and reasoning, which is a more masculine energy, you're going to have a lot of strife. Things are going to be very difficult for you. Feminine energy may be chaotic, but feminine energy is the energy that nurtures and that provides rest. That's why we can provide milk to support our babies from our breast. And so we are the womb on the planet, those of us who incarnated as women. And so we're carrying a lot of this repression inside of us, and it's causing a lot of reproductive issues with a lot of women. On top of the fact that I told y'all years ago that they were going to be able to control who had children remotely with a chip. We're there now. So it's a lot happening. How are you going to deal with that? How are you going to be mentally resilient so that you can continue your growth and evolution? And, so I already know most of us here are dealing with shame. We're dealing with guilt. We're dealing with cognitive dissonance because as each day goes by, you see how toxic the world is. You see even how toxic you are. But how do you meet that with compassion, Because if it triggers you and you get mad and angry and judge it, then you're going to stay in that hell loop. And so basically, if you look at it like this in the movie, so in this movie with these frequencies, right, the primordial waters will actually give you security, anchor you, and also help you to work through some of your trauma, right? But they did a great job in this movie in making sure that we were afraid of anything that looked like a woman that was cutting off heads and had weapons. I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm on the battlefield, I don't know if the God of the Bible is the one I want to be out there with, because he sacrificed his own son. And not only did he do that, but I'm going through the mythology. He also murdered every living thing on the planet except a few that he selected. Does that not sound like the pandemic right now?
Yeah.
Is it possible? Because we know that time does not truly exist. Just, I want you to expand your mind for a moment. Because this is what the soul is really calling for. So it's not being suffocated. But is it possible that by us believing in those things, by us looking for proof of those things showing up in the world, is it possible that we were used, our soul's energy was used to manifest this situation in our unconscious state? Is that possible? Is it possible that the real reason these ancient texts are changing? I know for sure the Biblios Helios is changing, which is the book of the SUN. However, most people who are in religion, they can't even receive that one, and they will have a million and one reasons why it's called the book of the SUN, even though Jesus said, you know, in the whole Bible says astrology is evil and demonic, and divination is evil and demonic, you know, and so it's sad because you want to help people be free, but they can't process the information. And so you have to detach from that. You have to detach from the sadness that you feel that you cannot help people get free. They may incarnate a few more times before they get to this point where you are now, and that's totally okay. To me, the mark of a truly spiritual person is someone who respects someone else's choices and their path, and that includes our children. That includes our partners, our spouses. That includes our parents. That includes everybody, to just honor whatever path they're on. And you know, and so, like, do you really want to be out there with somebody who sacrificed their own son? Like, seriously, is that who you want to do this battle with? Not me. Not me. You know, because I did it, and I was definitely really into it. You know, I was a hardcore Christian, and it caused me so much pain and suffering because each and every time that I was repenting for sin, Lilith showed me that I was actually repenting for the symptoms of my trauma showing up. And that actually is what caused the black magic on the planet that we have done in an unconscious state to ourselves and humanity as a whole. And I think it's really clever. See, when the Bible changed from the lion and the lamb shall lay together to the lion and the wolf shall lay together, that was what triggered many of us to wake up and come out of it. Those who did not hear that alarm within their soul will probably continue to believe as they do for the rest of this lifetime. And unfortunately, as the chaos turns up, if you have not learned how to transmute energy and do alchemy with your own trauma, because it causes you sadness and depression and you hate those parts of yourself. Maybe you spent many years getting whoopings and discipline for the trauma showing up, the generational trauma showing up, you know, like that causes suffering. And this really is the root cause of a lot of human suffering. We're all craving to be authentic, but some of us don't really know what that is, because since we were born here, there was always something or someone outside of you telling you what you should think and what you should feel and when. So this is why in the movie Matrix, again, I'm talking about the movies, right? In the movie Matrix, to pull someone out of the womb, it was traumatic, right? Because that life support that we used to be on is not there anymore. When you realize that there is no God that's gonna send his son to come and save you, because he really did. He killed his own son. And that God killed a lot of people. And there was a lot of war that happened on this planet as a result of those religions and those beliefs. So how can the energy of destruction not be attached to that? So the lion no longer lays with the lamb. You know why? Because the lamb is getting sacrificed. That's why. The people that will survive, thrive, and eat are the people who find their inner wolf. You must do shadow work to discover your inner wolf. One thing I like to say is, show me your shadow and I will show you your superpowers. People get readings with me and their lives have changed for the better. Don't mean every day is perfect and every day is good, and it definitely does not mean that I'm trying to fix everybody's problems. But you read the, go and read the testimonials. People have been able to be freed of things that pain them their whole life. Ashe, Denisha, thank you. Look at the hearts. May they return to you. I'm telling y'all, when y'all give donations at the right moment, not right, at a powerful moment, for a powerful reason, it amplifies. So all of those years, right, that we were giving money to the church and maybe our parents and grandparents, and it was supporting the very system that was oppressing us and force reincarnating souls to come back to this hellhole. And if you didn't know that you were in hell, you might want to go back and watch some of the other videos that we have, because the very first thing that a baby does when it exits its mother's primordial womb of water that comes from complete darkness, right? And they put the baby in bright artificial light, right? And the babies come out like this, and they're just like, whoa, like, what the fuck is going? Why are these people looking at me? And the very first thing you want to do is smack me on my ass. It's traumatic. Just to be born into this world is traumatic for most babies and people. And the very first thing that you do is what? You inhale. Because your ass is in hell until you learn how to exit hell. And this is why breath work is so powerful. It's directly connected to your chi, to your prana, to your life force. The lungs are being attacked. The lungs of the planet, which are the trees, got attacked before they attacked humans' lungs in this movie. You remember the rainforest and the Amazon and Australia? I mean, it was so many trees being burned down that they began talking to me and were telling me things to channel. And I'm like, give that to some of the other channelers, you know what I'm saying, who they got the resources and the time to work through that. And they was like, no, Oracle, no, this must come through you. If you don't have the time, make the time. If you don't have the resources, make the resources. I mean, they really put me on some spiritual boot camp shit. And I was like, I've been a Christian and a Hebrew Israelite and Muslim and Buddhist. And they was like, we don't care about any of that. Your soul is here to help people integrate with their shadow self and to accept the things about themselves that they have been told is unacceptable. It was so big. I was like, me, And so where we are now with this trauma and being in hell, now it's becoming pretty clear to see. And Earth is really the hood of the galaxy. We come here to learn these hard lessons. When you come here into a physical body, which is a fallen state, because the body is going to get sick. The body is going to die, right? We're going to drop this shell. Are you moving in a way that's going to benefit you in the afterlife? That's the question. Because one thing is for sure, darkness has supported me more than false light ever did. Did it cost me something? Absolutely. Yeah. Did I have to let go of attachments and certain relationships with people and friends and places? Did I have to make new decisions about my lifestyle and the way I eat? Did I had to do it all? Did I have to be accountable for every single thing that is existing in my current reality instead of looking outside of me for something to blame? Because I already feel like I'm broken. I can't take anymore. And when you get like that, you will blame shift. And if you notice, even in the Bible, Adam was like, it's that woman you gave me. Jesus, basically his mama, Jesus' mama, she went through hell, getting pregnant with Jesus. And then he looks at her and say, woman, basically like, woman, I don't know you. I only know people that's about my father's business. I mean, that's some real pimp shit. Can we just be real here about that? That's pimpish. What can I say? It is what it is. And so I'm telling y'all, work on being mentally resilient. And I don't mean numb. I mean where you feel your feelings and you learn proper ways to work through them. You learn how to transmit your trauma. You learn how to show up, right? And not judge your own self. So there's a strategy that I'm going to be teaching very soon called Ego TKO, because what I see, and this is not about the depth of the ego, because that was another thing Lilith made very clear to me, was not something that was going to benefit me, because I was on that journey like I'm just going to kill my ego by any means necessary, and she was just like, bitch, hold up. You don't know that that ego was created by your magical ass wounded child to protect you with coping mechanisms. Like, we've been over this. And I was like, okay, my bad. I slipped back in 3D shit for a moment. I'm back. So, she was just like, so no, you don't want to kill your ego, right? Just like you don't want to go to war with your mind, because the mind is already a battlefield. Everything we see happening in this simulated movie is coming from within, and we are the projectors. What is your soul creating? If you have not been able to tap into truth, and you know when it's a special kind of truth, because it's just got a whole other ring to it when you hear it. It's just some shit you feel so deep down in you, even if your mind don't understand it, you feel it in your heart, and you just like, I resonate with this. I was never really feeling a lot of the things that my family, believed in, and I had to survive, take on those beliefs, right? Even if it was just externally. And there's so much trauma. It's so terrible that we fear intimacy. And then they have the 6 feet apart, and right as humanity is awakening now, like, we're having reasons to not be close to one another. When you really look at 6 feet apart, that really means 6 feet deep, which is synonymous with death. So see, I don't do none of this shit for clout, because if what I was doing was for clout, I would be telling y'all what most everybody else is telling y'all. Have you noticed? See, some of the people who are on the forefront as teachers and stuff right now, there's something lacking that allows them to be unconscious, parasitic portals, but they don't know that they're doing that, right? A lot of people don't know that we are portals. That's why we're made of stardust. As above, so below. We are portals. And I'm telling you that each and every time somebody on this planet repents and Hail Mary for something that's showing up, it could be an addiction, but that may be the way that they cope with their trauma, and you're having to repent for it and pay for it, that tears down a part of you that is the core of you, of your authentic you. And it's amazing to me to see how many people are getting free from the labyrinth of the societal conditionings and programs. There are people who use black magic and they do it openly, but then there are the people who do it in unconsciousness. And it shows up in so many different ways, whether it's narcissism, which we all have some of, right? Low self-esteem, lack of confidence, right? That's still being hyper focused on yourself. You're hyper focused on what you lack. So when you give your best, it still doesn't feel great. The goal is to be able to look at yourself and say, I really did my best. That shit great because it was my best. It may not measure up to my family. It may not measure up to other people around me. But for me, I know that I did my best. That shit is great. You must learn to see your best as great. Otherwise, the lack will be what you focus on, and it will just nurture hate for your own self. By focusing on what we lack, we nurture hatred. So focus on being great by giving your best, or focus on being less, which creates hate. You know, like, you can pick, you can choose. This is the power of willpower, to be able to choose. And I'm going to say one thing before I get off here, and I'm going to do some quick announcement, and that is this. Out of all the years since 2006 that I have been doing this, right? I did not, when I wake up and go out in the world, it still shocks me that I dreamed of this world and visited this world from the past. So it feels familiar to me, and that may be a reason why I'm thriving, because I was prepared for this way long ago. And I had a dream that the church was dying, and I was hiding inside of a closet. And I don't know why I was in this closet, but I was in the closet hiding. And I had one of my friends with me. And the church, the RCC, and the those who are considered to be the controllers of the masses of people who are not ready to yet have accountability for their own soul's journey and need someone else's laws and morality and commandments to be handed to them. You know, that, like, that's what's the word when somebody you know, it's just like, it's, I can't even think of the word, but it's just, it's so disempowering. So, like, we have been used to perpetuate the very wickedness that has traumatized us. Every one of us have participated in this at some point. Can you bring love to that, though? Can you bring love to your trauma? I went from pleading and begging, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, to wait a minute. There's a root cause to this. And if I hate it and try to get it away from me because I don't want to deal with it, how do I ever become whole? How do I ever anchor love for me radically and accept me if I'm doing that? This is my trauma showing up. And so this is leading to the mental illness that we're seeing. And it's finna get really wild. The people who were considered weirdos and crazy are gonna be the ones that are gonna be thriving, and the other people are gonna be out here on some other shit. With Tico, archons, walk-ins, entity attachments, you know. And because these chips and stuff from this movie that I was watching, they put in people, they already had satellites that was already sending specific thoughts and frequencies into those people, and those people emit that energy much like a tree emits its oxygen for us, right? And we breathe in the carbon dioxide. But in that movie, now they also created a carbon dioxide machine, and they putting it up in Antarctica, and you know, the terraforming was happening. And so, yes, this is where we are. I'm telling you this to make you uncomfortable. Hopefully I am making you uncomfortable. I'm telling you this so that you can liberate yourself. There's no one coming to save you except you. But our comfort zone is actually dangerous when we stay in it too long. And it becomes something that will always keep you bound. And you will not grow. You will not evolve. So I want you all to make sure that you go to our website, because I know that the marketing and stuff, like with this thing, it's so different and unique what's happening here, because to any of this already knowing the answer. I'm tapping into the collective. I'm going into the akashic library, and then I'm doing research and putting pieces together. And that shit gets heavy. Some shit going on right now that high priestesses, magicians, dark goddesses, right? The things that we could be doing with all that's inside of us, but unfortunately, a lot of us are consumed by fear and doubt, and we do not trust ourselves. How can you do battle and you don't trust your weapons? How will you not be devoured if you do not trust that you were given? So, so I don't go back to talking about religion because I got like this little hatred and I want to nitpick and, I don't care about that. Actually, I cry sometimes about the people that I care about who have not been able to see how psychopathic that particular God that they follow really is. And I know what's coming. It's a grim reality. But what will help so many of us is to realize, A, when you were born, you came into hell, right? B, the simulation is being controlled by people who have access to souls, and they're using that energy to keep the planet in a prison planet state. C, in our unconsciousness, we do black magic all day, every day on ourselves, to not believe in ourselves, to not invest in ourselves, to not go for what we really want to go for, because we're so afraid to fail. We're so afraid to be talked about. We're so afraid of being rejected and abandoned. Many of us will never reach the goals in this lifetime that our soul came to complete if other people's perceptions and other people's beliefs is what you're using as your instruction manual. It don't work that way. Each soul came to have its own separate experience. And to not be allowed to have that, to call things that are actually beneficial harmful, right? Because you can't tell the difference between good and bad. Remember that stuff? You can't tell the difference between good and bad. Just confusion, confusion, confusion. I'm telling you, let's just say I saw a group of people and they had more access to different dimensions than I did that I couldn't enter into. Yeah, if I'm wanting to be the ruler, I'm definitely not going to tell them the way to really get liberated and tap into that power. I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to tell them look the other way. I'm going to tell them they ain't nothing but angels and this God right here. I'm going to tell them, because I'm going to do whatever I can to keep them from accessing these superpowers. So I'll create a book, right? In this book, I will quantum entangle using high forms of magic that they may never know about, And when they read this book, right, and believe it in a exoteric manner, they're going to be doing the spell casting for us, and that way we can just enjoy being here. We'll just let them do the work. They're really good at it. So the goddesses who are overseeing these kingdoms, they are mothers, nevertheless, of creation. And if what I was saying wasn't true, why go to such lengths to make people forget that there are gods and goddesses? To give people amnesia and force them to be reincarnated again and again, to be told the lie to go into the light, when we know that darkness creates everything, including light. Any light that you enter into with the illusion there is no darkness causes separation and gives space for us to judge each other, kill each other, murder each other, hurt each other, and not love each other. And even for people in prison for selling weed, and now people selling weed, and as long as you do it our way, you can sell it. It's all the same thing. Now, I got put in jail. I got put in digital jail for something that I said, and that's something. You'll have to just follow the links to find that something. It's a couple of them. I have video footage of a lot of different activities that I have been seeing in my dreams occurring. That's there. Things that I shall not say here, that's there. That's what we're doing in the New Youth Mystery School. Because If you have not trained yourself to transmute the chaos, you will become a victim of the chaos. You must set your intention. You must choose who you're going to be. Use your free will to choose who you are and script your narrative. When I was channeling from through Lilith, she said to me, all of that shit in those books that made y'all feel like y'all were the most disgusting thing on the planet, that's someone else's perception of your trauma. So the stuff that was considered to be a sin is actually their perception of you. And it is a very low way of looking at somebody. It's looking down on you. And it's telling you you should feel bad for being traumatized, even though we the ones that making sure y'all stay traumatized. But you should feel bad for it nevertheless. You might go to hell. This will happen. That is so it's fear. And so now people are afraid to die because most people don't even know what's gonna happen in the afterlife. That's gonna make you afraid to die. And guess what? When you die, you have that fear inside of you. Do you really think you're gonna go to the next level that your soul is supposed to experience? And I, I just I just want to implore upon you to really dig in with loving everything that shows up in your life, in you, because having hatred and judgment is quicksand, and it's going to keep you in a loop, in a sunken place. Reclaim your energy, reclaim your power. Anything that appears as it really is, for me, I trust it. As soon as I saw a segment, I was like, okay, I like we could do this. Let me spend some time with segment without my judgments, without all the beliefs of other people, right? Because I'm my own person. I'm my own person having my own experience. And I asked segment, like, why you look like that? Where every time I see you look like blood running out your mouth and you got weapons, and she was like, what do you mean? Who you think will serve justice on this planet? You in hell, baby. That's what it is. Would you rather I have a cupcake? I was like, damn. No, I would not rather. She was like, I'm with you. I'm riding with you the whole way because you're not judging me, right? You accepted me just as I was. And so there is something in ancient text that says that the devil comes as an angel of light. What does that mean? That means that what we think is good for us, what we believe to be illumination, most often is not, especially if it is showing itself to you to look innocent. So when I saw Kali, it's like, yo, you look scary and I do feel something, but I know this is my programming. But I would like to spend some time with you in a non-judgmental way and allow you to tell me what's up. Allow you to enlighten my mind. And she told me the subconscious realm that is created, the abyss, right? That's being projected by us and our trauma and the inability to be integrated with our shadow self. She told me, she was just like, this is what I had to become to protect my children. But my children have been brainwashed to be afraid of me. And she asked me, would you trust me better if I had a cross in my hand and a cup of wine? You know? But I am the same one. Bring them to me that I may slay them. Yeah, Jesus himself said that. That's in the Bible. And most people who believe in it don't even know it's there. Okay, so as long as we're getting slaughtered on this planet and we got slaughtered in these texts and we accept it, we believe in it, and we actually decide how we're going to live based on these things, guess what? Your soul is being suffocated to death. You are here to create your own heaven because that's something that you cultivate within you. Home is the heart. But if your heart is not trusted, because you feel like your heart and your feelings and your flesh is what got you in trouble, your heart chakra is going to need to be activated to have compassion so that you're not as judgmental. When you look at shamans, high priestesses from ancient times, sex priestesses, tantrikas, right? Dakinis, the Dakini code. They were always the consort of a masculine energy, but this masculine energy depicting itself as God always had a lot of feminine energy around him. Oftentimes they had black skin, blue skin, and green skin, yellow, sometimes many other colors. And you begin to see that feminine energy is chaos because nature, right, is chaos as well, because that's what's necessary for life. Death must happen for life. But when we are living in a simulated hologram where it's okay for our children to say things like, now I lay me down to sleep, I give that thing out there, the Lord, over me, my soul, and that thing can keep it. And if I die before I wake, I'm going to give this soul to this same Lord to take my soul away. Is that not blood sacrifice? Is that not sacrificing children? Honestly, we know the power of words. In the beginning, God spoke. So in our ignorance, in our slumber, we've participated and been a part of it. And those same people think that I'm evil because of my presentation and information. It is the most, don't try to make sense of it. It will drive you nuts, okay? I've tried. Don't try to make sense of it. Just accept what is. You're not crazy. It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing bad about you, and it's nothing broken. You have been impacted by these things, and you are the chosen ones to work through it so that we are not perpetuating this bullshit that does not allow space for real love to even anchor itself, because we don't even like ourselves half the time, and they make sure to keep it that way. It's something wrong with Sequin and Kali, but it's nothing wrong with the birthday cakes that's full of sugar, which, you know, there's a whole documentary about that and the effects of that. And can cancer be related? I don't know. Had you ever heard of Codex Alimentarius, you know? And these same people eat and consume these things, and they don't see anything wrong with it. But start talking about something dark. Start talking about set, noon, segments. Start talking about like the way they depict it, and it just it's propaganda, and it causes psychosis. So where to go? Where to go seems to be the virus that was engineered to keep us stuck in this consciousness, in this low plane of consciousness. We are releasing a density. That's where our body is changing. That's why our organs are changing size and moving. This is the bifurcation. The rapture has already happened. This is why our bodies do not allow us to put things in it that we used to, but it shows up in the form of sickness or allergy, right? And so when you truly become enlightened, every single thing that happens, you have a different way of looking at it. And it's ever expanding so that you don't get stuck in the spiritual concentration camp. As above, so below. As within, so without. So prepare yourself. The Divine Mothers have open arms for those who are ready to receive that love, which is unconditional. And I guess for people, you know, I don't know, people, maybe they just meant to have to come here again and learn this. But if you are here, you're learning this now. So yeah, the best that I can do to get all of this out is I'm going to continue to channel these messages. That's what I put on Patreon. And I'm doing this now because I was in jail, and you know, digitally, and couldn't get what we needed done, and it affected our business in a negative way. I mean, this is why my video usually is not recommended. Because I don't give a fuck about clout, right? I didn't come back to this hellhole twice to do what I'm expected to do, to acquiesce and conform. Absolutely not. And this is why people who interact with me, they see improvements. They feel like they can tell me anything. You won't ever see me caught up in no drama, because I have a level of integrity that comes with being in this space. And to know that I was using my gifts in religion, and to now denounce it and explain the connections to the mental illnesses and the imbalances and the things that are happening with our soul, and the reason why we're not going to the next dimension like we're supposed to. It took a lot of fucking courage to do this. I ain't doing this because it's cute. I sacrificed a lot. And when you connect with somebody who don't give a fuck about clout, who's not trying to be somebody else, who does not judge. Anybody that personally know me would tell you most of my life I've been this way. I love prostitutes. I love the drug dealers. I love the gangsters. I love the criminals. Pirates. It don't matter, because I see soul energy. And as long as we are divided because we think that there's a supremacy thing going on this planet, they're going to continue to dominate and oppress us. So I'm not saying to not use your discernment, but it is a very thin line between discernment and criticism that's going to keep you stuck in judgment and condemnation. And even in that same book, that book says that the waters will be poisoned. Do we not see that happening? Maybe that book wasn't giving us a heads up. Maybe that book was to make sure that by us believing in it, it manifested. And maybe that's the real reason that it is so difficult for some people to let go of the religiosity. Can't get away with it no more. The veil is down. This is it. We're seeing everything as it is. So the people you've been in relationships with, probably been together a long time, all of a sudden you're seeing them for who they really are. You see their wounds. You see their trauma so clearly. And some people are like, man, she catfished me. What you mean? She look how she look in the picture. No, I mean, like, I thought she was one type of woman, but she's a whole other. It's the awakening that happened to pull the veil down. But this is what we wanted. We wanted to see the unseen. And now that you are, how are you going to respond? So in the New Youth Mystery School, go to the website, read about it. We like, while classes are open, I know at some point it's going to get too full. I'm not going to be able to let anybody else in, because we curate the content based on what y'all need. We read your emails. We also have the Google surveys that we did. So I really didn't need it, because I'd be all up in the Akash, and most of the time I know what's going on with the collective. But you know, again, it's the integrity thing, and I don't want people to feel like they're relying on me for their path of enlightenment. You know, I just want to be a point of contact to spark authentic thoughts, you know, so that you have a connection to the Akash, right? And so there's that. The lectures that we've done, we have more coming up, but check those out. Like, again, while we have the space to do it, because this is going to help you with the rules of engagement in the underworld. This is not the same world you were always in, and I know that you feel it. The sooner you accept it, the better you will feel, and you will be able to do the alchemy around whatever this experience is that you are having. Shay, that's what's up. You're live. Yeah, how do you spell the website for the school? Can somebody drop that website in the chat for me? So I'm gonna tell you. Yeah, Denisha, you like, wow, I never thought about it like that, honey. When I be telling people, like, I'm not using the Khamsin Oracle thing because it's like cute, No, that's really what be going on. Self accountability and compassion, absolutely, so that you not fall in victimization. See, Fabdu, you see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? Earth is ghetto as fuck. This is the hood. This is the hood of the universe. Come on now, y'all. Y'all, look. It's so ironic that the stuff you run from your whole life becomes the stuff that liberates you once you accept it and see it for what it is. And you will realize that there is nothing to fear itself but fear, you know. And it's just it's a trip though. It's a trip that we are in the underworld halls of a minty duat. There's many names it goes by, but it's really once you get past the judgment and stuff, you can begin to have fun with the movie and just start conjuring shit into your reality and scripting things that you want. But I'm glad that this was enough. I'm glad that this was speaking to some of y'all. So let's see. So okay, updates real quick. Let me come out of the channel thing. I could be on here with y'all, but y'all already see like this is right here. This is my wave. I love to be in the frequency and giving information and people to feel validated and be like, yo, okay, see, I'm not crazy. Like, that's a great feeling. But we will be going to the conference with Ani Osaru, who's having in South Carolina, and most likely we're going to stream that live. So if you want to see that lecture, I don't even know what I'm going to talk about yet. I'm just going to do whatever is called for me to do. If you want to see that live, you'll be able to access that through Patreon as well. So that's their update. That is on May the 7th, okay? That's coming up. Also, for those of you who are already signed up, our next class for Dark Goddess University is going to be tomorrow at 6 p.m. And the New You Mystery School class is going to be Sunday at 8 p.m. So hopefully I'm right. Don't quote me on that. But go to the website, remnantsgathering.com, so you can check all the updates and look at the information. We got new products and stuff. Some people were sending me emails saying that the links to the products does not work, that I posted in the community tab. I have no idea why that would be. That was just such a shocker. But you can find those products on the website. We will be sending orders out tomorrow for those of you who have already ordered. And if you have not done your homework in either of the university or the mystery school, New You Mystery School, make sure that you do that if you can with this eclipse energy, because it's going to amplify everything that you do. And this energy is very uplifting, it's cleansing, and I know that a lot of us got attached to things, and we're saying now that we have to let go of our attachment to those things. I know that can be difficult, so I'm integrating that in the curriculum that's coming up for this weekend as well. So it's not too late. If you want to sign up, just go to Patreon and sign up. And let's see, yeah, but check out the new products, because we got some for people who want to really play with this, to be able to awaken their kundalini and actually use it in a way where it assists you, right? Instead of just avoiding, you need the energy of kundalini to be able to go into certain areas of your psyche, right? And to be able to do the alchemy on that is a very important element, the creative energy. So most of my potions are aphrodisiacs and elixirs, but this one that I'm doing right now that I'm posting tonight is called Oshun's Secret, and it's a gold elixir, and it's so powerful. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to do a video and tell you about the shit that I have conjured into my reality by being magnetic enough to do that. I'm gonna do a separate whole video about that, but yes, that's on there, and I just posted that today. I'm gonna post a video so you can see the way that when it hits the skin, because I don't know if y'all notice, but when you are sunbathing, you can see crystals in your skin now as well. See, I love to pay attention to the human body and to see how we're changing. So when I made this, I was outside using it, and that light hit it a certain way, and I was like, yo. I just started laughing, and I was just like, I am a fucking white galactic wizard. I have never been so proud of that, even though some people don't want anything to do with me anymore for it. But it's all love. So yeah, that's there. That's and the scent fits for men or women. I made it unisex because it's another thing. Like I'm seeing the balancing of the masculine and feminine. We do need more unisex. We do need things that are integrating both masculine and feminine energy. So a lot of our products that me and Ernest makes, it has the both polarities of energy on it, and that's another thing that amplifies the magic. So yeah, but Magic on the Planet. If y'all haven't watched Magicians, now if you don't watch TV, don't, because Netflix, not Netflix, whatever that other movie thing is that was in that movie anyway. It do be other agendas going on in the background, so listen to your own resonance, your own intuition. However, but the movie Magicians shows you exactly what's happening. And when magic is unleashed on the planet, it's not always a great thing, because if we are not conscious, if we have not done shadow work, if we have not learned to love these parts of ourselves that have been repressed and find a healthy way for those repressed parts of ourselves to be able to show up in our reality in a way that does not sabotage what we are creating, when we're able to do that, we become unfuckwittable. Doesn't mean things don't happen to you, but you will find yourself becoming super mentally resilient. And y'all go feel this, okay? So if you ride with us, you know, tough like that, head over there. However, if you knew and you like, who is this? You know, just go to the website and look at the free classes, the free programs, courses that's on there. I mean, I get excited because it's not really me, but it is me. I'm just observing myself at this point in life. So you
It's
know,
you.
I'd be like, yo, I don't know, I be feeling like somebody else did that shit. I'm like, this shit is good. I, I'd be like, babe, come here, and he just like, yeah, this is a video of you saying something. Like, no, but this shit good. So sometimes when I'm being that medium, I'm not really even in here at the moment, and I don't spend a lot of time on Earth. Honestly, I'm in the astral most of the time. I lucid dream every single time that I'm asleep. I work with shamans, and they was just like, we got to keep you in your body more often because it weakens your legs. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna work on it. Like, I'm gonna work on it. So I'm like a triple fold Mama Wata Symbols of the Ancient World Oracle with the galactic signature of a white galactic wizard. I mean, I can't do nothing else but be magical because it's just who I am, except I'm using it to empower people by allowing people to see their shadow as their superpower and learn how to work with it. So that's that. I think I got everything out. Y'all take this positive energy. Thank you so much for the donations too. I got to say that again. If and I probably should have told y'all my Cash App and PayPal at the beginning of this. Like I'm telling you, I really don't be on no get money type shit. But I probably need to be, because what I see occurring right now in the lack of integrity, we are it is going to benefit us to have unity and to be able to have sex and have it be sacred energy exchange. And I know I shocked some of you. See how that word did you right there? Uh-huh. See, that's the life force energy, and it's so important that we reclaim that. That's yours. That's yours, and I want everything that come through me to liberate people from the things that have kept us in bondage. My word is bond. I can't show up no other way but authentic. So thank y'all. For those that see some new people in here, I'm not looking at the chat, but I can feel some new people in here. That's what I've been invited. Yeah, I can feel some new people in here, so y'all might not know what we're about to say. Getting the rest of your stuff done. Good, Virgo Bliss. Get it. I'm telling you, that shit is fire. Like, I can't even put it in words. And the information I'm getting ready to do, the war on consciousness and the WAP war, I'm gonna do a part 2 and 3, because I'm telling y'all, like, I know some of y'all are like fucking geniuses. Your scholarship is there. You have done your research. I welcome challenges. If you can look at something I've said and say, no, 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 you got it all wrong, like, thank you. I'm going to go and research, because, ego TKOs. No point in me feeling like every criticism is negative. I welcome it all. I just don't have a negative judgment on anything anymore. And that just allows so much more healing energy on the planet to come out of that. But Yes, so thank y'all for the donations. Thank you for the new people that's in here. For the people who didn't catch this live, I know you feel the special drip, big pyramid shit vibration. You can create this with us anytime. So yes, there's that. Like we are really just like give it your all, okay? Because you can get another life, but do you really want to come to a hell? A hell planet that's in the hood part of the universe where hardly nobody knows that they're really in hell? Where hardly nobody knows that they're gods and goddesses, and because of things that they speak and are believing in, they're actually projecting out the things into reality that's traumatizing us. We are some very brave people to be here in the age of Aquarius, and for that reason and nothing else, you should feel like a success every day. All right. So I'm gonna slide over here so I can go back and do what I was doing. But y'all already know what it is. Can y'all say this with me? For those of you who know my day ones up in here, man, your third eye has just been kissed. Peace and power.